I'm back. After being sick for so many weeks, I am back. I'm not in the best shape form that I could be, and you can see that because I'm in a hoodie. I never wear hoodies. This is my boyfriend's. I'm sick. What I did, however, while being sick was read. So I wanted to do a little bit of a wrap up for the month of February. I also wanted to do a little bit of a TBR for the next month, even though I'm a mood reader, but I have some books that I really want to read and some books that I have to read. Let's start with the wrap up first with look what I got. All I wanted to do this month is read this book. I got the English version. I also got like these tiki tabs who look like donuts. They're so cute. I read it. I really enjoyed it. These are all the moments that I had like a laugh out loud experience because Hiii knows how to write a funny dialogue. I really liked the protagonist, really liked her. I thought she was compelling. I thought she was three-dimensional. I thought she was like, one, hilarious. Two, the fact that she doesn't like kids and she has to warm up to people was so endearing to me. The romance was okay. It was like tension filled, definitely. The thing is that Lo, the werewolf, because she's a vampire, he's a werewolf, it's a urban fantasy romance. He's fine, he's very stoic. I wish he could have like unbuttoned more of his feelings by the end. I don't know, that's why I gave it 4.25 stars. Yeah, which is not bad, of course, but I usually give Hiii Wood's book 5 stars. I still think about love theoretically, like all the time. Jack Smith, oh my god. The fact that the main love interest wasn't as compelling as the protagonist is what kept it from being a 5 stars. I really also enjoyed the fact that this was not just a romance, this was a full urban fantasy, so the fantasy aspect was explored, like the political and economical aspect. I love that. So I slayed the beast. And then I read another kind of beast. I have a vlog in which I wanted to like finish all the series that I'm in the middle of. I'm going to link it up here. In that vlog, I finished the Heavenly Official Blessing series. I read volume 7 and 8 by Motion Tusho. I gave them all 5 stars. You already know, Chinese web novel about Chinese deities, a love story that spans 800 years, one of my favorite series of all time. I obviously am going to give it 5 stars. I, however, really dislike the way they divided the series in 8 volumes. I get why they did that, because they are like girthy, it's a girthy series, but the author had already divided the series in 5 books, so why not follow that? Because I feel like it breaks up the pacing of the story in a weird way, and I feel like reading the whole block of the story, either the 5 books as the author intended or like the whole story, is the best way to experience the series. So yeah, I give them all 5 stars. It's one of my favorite series of all time for a reason. And then I don't know how I've survived this book. I finished Oathbringer, also in that vlog by Brandon Sanderson. This is a 1200 pages book. I did that. I'm proud of myself. I gave the book 4.25 stars, which I think is I don't know if it's the highest. I never give Brandon Sanderson books in this series specifically 5 stars because I feel like, and he does it in every fucking book. The first 2 acts of the story are very slow in a way that it's not slow and compelling. It's slow in a way that makes me feel like they could have been combined into one. He really likes setting up stories by putting scenes that he really likes writing that are very pleasing to read, but they do not serve the purpose of the story, like the plotline, and they break up the pacing into smaller little mini arcs. I don't really like that. I also feel like the chapters between arcs, like the interludes, I don't feel like we needed 3 interludes every time. A lot of the time, some of the interludes were like there for like the purpose of having 3. That's why I gave it 4.25. Still very good. Still, I need to read Rhythm of War. I am so scared. It's called Rhythm of War. A war is going to break out, okay? I'm scared. Then a wonderful Italian publishing house decided to send me their books, and they were like, if you want to, you can read these books and then come to Milan, which I'm going to do this Saturday, and talk to the authors. I'm going to do that this Saturday all on my own. going to vlog it on my TikTok, I think. But I read some of their books. I'm in the middle of other ones, but firstly I read King Bro, or in Italian Grande Bro, by Jenny Jagerfeld. This is a middle grade novel, and I usually really don't like middle grade novels because I feel like they lack the depth that I like in books. This one, however, was not. It talks about a young trans kid in, I feel like we are between the early 2000s and the 2010s in, I think we are in Malmo, I could be wrong, we are in a northern country. And he really likes skating. His mom is very understanding of his at 12 wanting to be called the way that he wants to be called. And he's like, I'm a young man, I want to change my name, this is who I am. And his mother is like, okay, yeah, sure. His father is not. And he, the protagonist, meets another kid who really likes skating also, and they become fast friends. They're kids. It's in the synopsis, so it's not like a spoiler. This other kid at one point in the story discovers that the protagonist is trans. I feel like it's so realistic. Finally, somebody who writes kids as they are. They are annoying, but not in a annoying way. It's an endearing way. And also, like, they like to do nonsense. They like to play. They like to, like, war vomit. It's so nice to see kids represented in the way that they are. And it's written by a child psychologist. And also somebody who really knows how to write. It was a very short book. It packed a punch though. I really, really liked it. And then they sent me one of the best books of this year. I still think about it. It was not perfect, but oh my god. The Details by Ia Gemberg. This is what Happy Hour wanted to do, the one book by Marlowe Granados. This is what Sally Rooney thinks she's doing. The writing, oh my god. There is like an abyss between Ia Gemberg and every other writer. She writes so well. And this book, however short, felt like meeting your friends after like a period of distance, and you like go to their house, drink a little wine, laugh until 3 a.m. with music, you dance. It's like the most communal, wonderful, loving time with your friends and loved ones. And it feels like this book. This book talks about a middle-aged woman who at one point gets a fever, like a normal fever, she has the flu, and then she thinks about all the defining relationship of her youth. So firstly, there's her girlfriend, her first girlfriend. So the protagonist is bisexual, wonderful bisexual representation. Then there's one of her friends who, they're not friends anymore, and it was a very turbulent friendship. Then there's a boyfriend who was also like a tornado, and then there's also another person who's, I won't give you who she is because of spoilers, but it's another defining relationship of her life. So good! So good! The writing, wonderful. It's not about the plot, it's more like character studies, but you follow these people that lived in the 90s, again in the north of Europe, and you get to watch them discover the new millennium and like the millennium bug and all the parties that they went to, and how in their 20s they do not know the future, so they constantly move and change. It's so good, so deep, wonderful, not heavy at all. I give it 4.5 stars because I feel like there were some things at the beginning and the end that could have been, I think, explored more, but still, I think about that book a lot. So these were all the books that I read this month. They feel like a few books, but then I remember that I read Oathbreaker, which is like 4 books in and of itself. We can do a little bit of a TBR. Firstly, I have the 2 books that the publishing house sent me that I have to read before Saturday. First one, which I'm in the middle of, is called The Great North by Malak Tialak. Malak Tialak is a British writer, but also like songwriter, which I think is so fun. He went on a voyage following the 60th parallel. When you read maps, the lines, like there are maps inside the book. So he visits all the northern countries, trying to find something that feels like home, and he really went on that journey and wrote about it. But there's also like his journey and like some historical facts, some folklore. It's so interesting. I'm slowly reading it because it's a voyage, obviously. And I am at the part where he is in Alaska. It's kind of sad, it's kind of melancholic, but I really like it so far. And then I have to read another book. This one about how one person with pent-up rage can really destroy a family. It's called My Ingeborg, and I cannot wait to read that. It's going to be, I think it's going to pack a punch. It's very short chapters. I'm going to be destroyed by that book. Do not judge me, please. I'm back in my Gossip Girl era, so you know which book I'm going to pull out. Yes. This is the Italian edition of Magnolia Parks. I have read the first 3 books in the Magnolia Parks universe. If you don't know, this is kind of like Gossip Girl set in the UK. Without the Gossip Girl part, only with like rich people crossing each other. Very, very, very sad books at times. Very, why are you so stupid? Talks about a toxic relationship in the first book and then it progresses. These are not great books. They are, however, laced with some kind of drug because I read the first 3 books in a span of 3 days. And these are not like, this is a big book. If you don't know, the Magnolia Parks universe, it's comprised of 2 interconnected series. Like you follow a different cast of characters, but in the same timeline, in the same place, they're all friends. So the first book is Magnolia Parks, and then you have Daisy Hates books, and they alternate. I read the first 3 books. I do not like Daisy Hates, that's why I stopped at the 3rd book, which is Magnolia Parks. I have to read another Daisy Hate books. However, the last Magnolia Parks books has been published in English and I want to read that, so I have to read Daisy Hates. And I'm back in my Gossip Girl era, so I thought I could start Daisy Hates in The Great Undoing. Something happened at the end of last book that made me a wreck, like a complete wreck, emotionally destroyed. So I kind of don't want to start it, but I also really, really want to. But this is a book that I asked everybody to get me for Christmas, and my mom, the angel that is my mom, got it for me. This is a very expensive book. It's The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis. Bret Easton Ellis is the author of American Psycho, if you don't know. This is about, again, serial killers, I feel like in the 90s. And it's also like vaguely gay. And I really wanted it. It is about obsession, serial killers, and secrets, and sad gays. And I wanted it. And now that I got it, I really want to start it. It's another big book, but every time I look at it, like look at the cover, so good, right? And then the book. Oh my god. Yeah. Wow. You have seen nothing. Yeah, but also a tarot card, a colored inlay of the characters. I mean, this was a little bit expensive, but not that much. I saw it, it was shiny, I had to get it. Even though the author is called Jude Archer, I think it's a pen name because this is an Italian book. This is a dark academia light fantasy book. It's called Stelle Ottone, The Hidden Society. Roughly translates to Stars and Brass, and it's set in Venice. I live in Venice. I am a Venetian. I'm very picky about books set in Venice, so we'll see about this book. It's so shiny though, it's so pretty. I really, really want to read a Dark Academia book right now, even though it's not the season for a Dark Academia book, but I mean, look at it. This is my TBR. There are 2 books that I have to read in the span of 2 days, and then the other ones are for next month. We'll see about that. I really want to read Daisy Hates. This was the video. I hope you liked it. I keep getting sick. I know, I'm so sorry, but I literally cannot do anything while I'm sick. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please comment, subscribe to like the YouTube stuff. And I also have some socials if you want to connect with me. I have them down below. I'm most active on TikTok. It's a fun time there, I promise. I'm going to vlog my experience in Milan, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye! Mwah! Mwah!